Hi, everyone. Michelle Grimolia here, the President and CEO of Woodland Pond at New Paltz. So today is Tuesday, November 3rd, 2020, Election Day, as I'm sure everyone knows. And I'm here today with my daily COVID on-campus update for you. I will plan on doing this same update at 2 p.m. tomorrow, which is Wednesday. And then I'm going to play Thursday and Friday by ear. The best news of the day, of course, is that we have no new cases of COVID on campus. We do not have any residents or staff members on any part of the campus reporting or exhibiting symptoms of illness. So that, remains a stable environment here at the community. We have proceeded along in achieving some of the additional milestones that we will need to accomplish in order to resume certain activities here on campus, and I'm going to go through some of those details in a moment, but I do just want to mention that we did, excuse me, in accordance with the New York State Department of Health recommendation that we test all of the health center residents 2 times per week, last week and this week. We are just doing continual testing. And yesterday I reported to you the results of both assisted living and skilled nursing retests from the 29th. I'm sorry, yes, from the 29th. Assisted living and garden view were due to be tested again on the 1st in accordance with the state recommendations. So those assisted living and garden view residents were retested on the 1st, and all of those results have come in and they're all continue to be negative. So that's another really, great milestone that we've reached. I'm going to be sending out an email update today, which will include this information, but as well a memo of the reopening steps for independent living. The same or sister or the like memo for the health center will be issued tomorrow. So I want to just make you all aware that today the information will come out for independent living, and tomorrow the information will come out for the health center. But just to refresh on what we discussed yesterday, there will not be any changes to the health center at all this week. And we're still working through a few of the timeline specifics. So we will get that memo issued to you tomorrow by midday is the goal. In addition to having received the great, round of negative tests again for assisted living and garden view, we also had the expected but unannounced visit today from the assisted living, the adult care facility, which covers assisted living and garden view. The adult care facility section of the New York State Department of Health came for their focused infection control survey. You remember that I discussed that last Thursday, their counterparts from the skilled nursing side had come unannounced. So today, 2 surveyors from the adult care facility section of the Department of Health arrived on site at 10 a.m. They actually only stayed for about 2.5 hours. They interviewed staff. They did a deep dive in the operating environments of both assisted living and garden view. And as you will see in my email, they had some minor recommendations related to 3 primary things. One, increasing the amount of where we have floor markings for residents to remind them to keep 6 feet distance. They wanted some more of that. They also had a suggestion for a handful more of different hand sanitizer dispensers and wipes. And then lastly, they asked us to remove some common area seating. Those are all great recommendations, very easy to accomplish. It seemed irrelevant to the surveyors at this time that we haven't had congregate activities or meals in the community in assisted living or garden view in months. But they wanted to make sure that when we do resume those things that, all of those instructions and items are available. So we will have all of those items accomplished today if they haven't already been done so. So that was a great visit. And that was yet another milestone that needed to be achieved in order for us to determine the reopening timeline for the health center. So again, that's why we will get that health center memo issued tomorrow. Before I go into the independent living resumption of activities, I do just want to mention that we have an opportunity for all Woodland Pond stakeholders to participate in a community book discussion being led by one of our residents. So through the One Book, One New Paltz organization, on Tuesday, November 10th, from 3 to 4:30 p.m., there will be a community book discussion, and this is whereby Shalom Schwartz, who is one of our residents and is a retired professor of social and cross-cultural psychology from the Hebrew University at Jerusalem, will facilitate a book discussion. The registration for that event can be done by contacting Robin Jacobowitz, and I will include Robin's contact information in my email today, but it's Robin Jacobowitz, which is affiliated with SUNY New Paltz. Okay, so we are going to now talk about independent living. Today, I'm issuing a memo, which will be attached to my daily update email and is being issued paper copy to the independent living residents now. I'm actually going to read it to you because I do think that it's quite comprehensive and self-explanatory. And I would welcome any questions or comments that you have after hearing this, of course. So this is a memo dated November 3rd, 2020. And it says, "Dear all, we are prepared to take our first baby step towards resuming some level of community activity in independent living on Thursday, November 5th, 2020. Our return will be gradual, and the first week will be different than the second week. This memo will discuss what to expect in the first week, and that's parenthetically noted as being from Thursday, November 5th, so this Thursday, through the end of the day on Wednesday, November 11th. So starting this Thursday through the end of next Wednesday is what we're calling Independent Living Week 1. We have reached this level of comfort because the following milestones have been reached. Wednesday, November 4th, tomorrow, marks the 15th day since the last COVID positive staff member was on campus. And that last date of that staff member being on campus is October 21st, 2020. And 15th day since the original batch of testing that came back positive was taken. So we've talked a lot about that 2 to 14 day potential incubation period for COVID symptoms to develop. Tomorrow will be the 15th day of that potential incubation period. And so because tomorrow is the 15th day, that is a very significant milestone in terms of us getting comfort with starting to resume certain activities, specifically in independent living right now. The memo then goes on to say, the 3 positive staff cases and the single confirmed positive resident case were in the health center only, not in independent living. We have no residents reporting symptoms of illness, nor reporting concerning temperatures in any part of the community, meaning temperature, not, the chill. And finally, we have conducted dozens of independent living resident tests since October 21st based on a number of risk factors, and all of those results have been returned negative. So those 4 criteria, those 4 reasons is what is giving us comfort with resuming certain activities in independent living at this point in time. The memo goes on to say that we appreciate your support and your continued commitment to the safety of yourself, your neighbors, and our staff. I am especially appreciative to all of you that have made it a priority to call and check in on your neighbors. It has gotten back to me that this is happening, and how much unexpected joy, all caps, this is bringing to your neighbors. You have such amazing souls. Okay, so now for the guts of the memo. On Thursday of this week, the following will resume. Solo monitored activities as follows. You will be permitted to do these alone or with your significant other. You will be monitored for symptoms of illness and temperature by our staff. The fitness center will reopen with expanded hours of operation. We will now have the fitness center open from Monday through Friday from 6:30 a.m. with the last appointment starting at 5:30 p.m. So you'll be able to make appointments for the fitness centers Monday through Friday, starting on the hour at 6:30 a.m. and with the last appointment starting at 5:30 p.m. We also are expanding hours on Saturday and Sunday, and those hours are going to be from 8:30 a.m. with the last appointment on Saturday and Sunday starting at 4:30. So if you are interested in booking the next round of fitness center appointments, we will be reopening on Thursday with the hours that I just stated. The hair salon will resume normal hours of operation this Thursday, and Sharon will be contacting those people that had appointments scheduled or reaching out to those that she thinks are due. If you are curious about what your status is, you can check in with the concierge and they can provide you Sharon's contact information. Also this week, the mailroom will reopen on Thursday, and the mailroom will reopen with new hours of operation as well. So the mailroom on a typical week will be open from Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. with the exception of the hour or two where the mail person is in there, which varies from day to day. But generally, the mailroom will be open 5 days per week starting this Thursday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, the next category is group outdoor activity. You'll be permitted to do the following with your Woodland Pond neighbors. Walk in pairs, masked and safely distanced. So you and a friend or a neighbor can go for a walk outside with masks on and safely distanced. Outdoor resident-to-resident visits may resume at outdoor common areas for those not living on the ground floor. So if you don't live in a ground floor apartment that has access to directly to outside, or if you don't live in a cottage, so if you live in one of the mid-level apartments or the upper level apartments that don't have direct access to the outdoors, you will be able to meet with your resident neighbors outdoors on campus in common areas starting Thursday. Masked, 6 feet distance, no eating or drinking, and you don't need an appointment to do that. Okay, so for those that do live in an independent living home with immediate ground floor access, so whether it's a ground floor apartment or a cottage, you may have visits with your Woodland Pond resident neighbors at your home outdoors, as long as that person does not come through your home. So for this first week period, we do not want anybody coming into anybody else's home at this point, unless it's your significant other or your private duty companion, your approved companion. So if you're going to visit with your Woodland Pond neighbor, you may do so at your place, but they are not to come through. That's a little bit different than where we were before this shutdown. Again, masked and 6 feet distance, no eating or drinking. Okay, and then the last category of things that will be opening up back up again on Thursday. The following things will be permitted indoors by yourself with a mask on. Hallway walks, you can start hallway walks again. You can do this with your significant other as well. So this would either be alone or with a significant other. You must be masked and you should avoid contact in the halls. We're asking you not to stop and chat, and just wave and say hi and keep moving. And you must keep 6 feet distance. But I know a number of you have been looking forward to walking in the halls. That can start again on Thursday. Dedrick's will reopen on Thursday with in-store shopping, subject to the same occupancy limitations as before. And appointments with our resident technology assistant, Cassidy, and the resident technology specialist, Patrick, will resume by appointment starting on Monday, November 9th. So everything else starts Thursday, but the RTA and RTS will resume on Monday. You must wear masks and keep 6 feet distance, and you can coordinate that through the concierge. There are some additional notes in the memo. The first is related to medical transport, and it says that Jason will be able to make available very limited slots on the bus and vans for absolutely necessary medical appointments. Residents should continue to do telemed appointments wherever possible. If you have an appointment that absolutely cannot wait, Jason is going to make a handful of slots available. You can please contact the concierge for transportation arrangements. Non-Woodland Pond non-Woodland Pond visitors. Right now, this first week, we are not reopening to outside visitors. We are opening up visits to Woodland Pond residents to visit each other. We are not opening up to people that do not live at Woodland Pond for this first week. As far as the PAC and Channel 1340, Gretchen will be working on a revised programming schedule, and we're asking you to please stay tuned for that. Outpatient physical therapy, I'm not sure how detailed it was, and I think there was some confusion about this, and I apologize if I didn't communicate this clearly, but when all of this happened, one of the recommendations of the state was that all of the rehab department staff go on to a mandatory furlough because that was deemed to be one of the highest risk areas of transmission based on exposure risk. So our physical therapy staff has been furloughed and they return today. So with that return will be a return of physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy services in the health center, but also we will be resuming outpatient physical therapy, the program as well. Initially, Lois and her counterparts are going to be doing those visits in your either assisted living, garden view, or independent living homes. But you will start to get contacted again now that that staff is back. So physical therapy will be back up and running as soon as Thursday. So stay tuned for a phone call on that. And then finally, the following things will not resume in this first week. And the reason is because all of these things are considered to be the highest risk of transmission in independent living. And we still have some milestones that need to be achieved in the health center. So we've decided that the following will not resume in that first 1 week period of time starting Thursday. That is the pub, the dining room, our resident meetings, delivery deputies, including newspapers delivered by residents, shopping on our bus and vans, card games, bank hours, the pool, and housekeeping and independent living. Those are all things in addition to additional medical transport, potential off-site visitors coming on campus. Those things will not resume this first week, but those are all the things that we're going to be considering opening up in that second week period of time. So that's where we are for independent living. I know that that's going to be great for a lot of you that haven't seen your neighbors, you're missing people. We have one more day to get through. We need to keep our fingers crossed and toes crossed that in the next day, residents remain symptom-free, staff remain symptom-free. We have no suspected or known cases of COVID that arise. And as long as that happens, we will be ready to take this next baby step for independent living. If you have any questions or you need anything from me at all, you know how to reach me. I'll see you soon.